Hello, everybody. I did a boo boo. I as you can see, this far in, with realizing my desktop audio was muted, so there was basically no audio of said video. So I have to restart. I'm not gonna be doing the same reactions I did, or I mean, I'll try to, but like, eh, I'm gonna keep it honest.
Now
So,
this might embarrass him, but Connor is the best.
sorry about that. Well, on with the video. The one that I picked to record, I'm so off with a lot of things.
Fight!
When you think of Mortal Kombat, hell, when you think of the entire fighting game genre, Scorpion stands out as one
Yeah,
of the most
because like,
popular.
if I may pause for a second, I made my main video. I basically forgot to unmute after the outro to a good bit of the video. Well, yeah, it's still gonna be a little bit more editing. Probably have to go up tomorrow. Hopefully, till later today. Who knows?
Fighting game icons. He's appeared in all Mortal Kombat titles, except for this one for some odd reason, and stands out as the official poster boy for Mortal Kombat. With all the appearances he's made for more than 25 years, Scorpion has certainly been creative and brutal with how he chooses to finish them. Today, in a new series, I will be ranking all of the Scorpion fatalities among all Mortal Kombat titles. The finishers will be ranked based on their creativity, pacing, realism, just kidding, and impact on the series. Here are some of the rules for the ranking
Most of
process.
them I do
Rule number
agree
1, no
with,
censored fatalities.
uh,
This means I won't be showing any of the censored fatalities from the Super Nintendo editions of the game, because, let's be honest, we really want to see all of these in their bloody glory. Rule number 2,
Yeah,
no Shaolin
fair.
Monk cinematic or story mode fatalities. Although they are really awesome, and the one that Scorpion has where he throws you against the wall as Inferno Scorpion is great, it's so different that I can't really include it and make it count as its own fatality. Besides, you can't even perform it, so that's kinda cheating. Rule number 3,
Yeah.
brutalities, stage fatalities, and mortalities will not count either. Like Chameleon, they are just way too unique for this list and it would make this video go on a whole lot longer. Rule number 4, no
Okay.
finishers from Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Oh.
Literally all of these fatalities can be performed no matter who you play as. Enough said.
Oh,
And rule
really?
number 5,
I haven't played that
recreated
game in
fatalities.
so long.
Since
I
some
have
of the
the
finishers
game.
are recreated
I
among
just can't play
games,
them play
such as the Tosi fatality, each one will count as their own entry based on variation among each game. With those rules established, let's get to ranking every single Scorpion fatality among the Mortal Kombat franchise. Number 23. You know what they say is the most sincere form of flattery? That's right, copying the hell out of it. Which is what brings us to the bottom of Scorpion's finishers.
Sad.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
So does this Scorpion finisher leave MK fans flattered? No. Literally, this is just Sub-Zero's fatality. Nothing new is added to it to make it stand out for Scorpion. No flair or pizzazz, nothing. Which is why I find this fatality to be Scorpion's worst. It's a damn ripoff. And no, I am not apologizing for that pun. Moving on. Number 22. We're jumping from 3D to 2D for our 22nd slot. With Mortal Kombat 2 improving the fighting mechanics and
Yeah.
the fatalities, we were all expecting some crazy over-the-top finishers for Mortal Kombat 3. So, what did Scorpion bring us?
Scorpion.
That's just sad.
Well, I don't know either. So we're not even allowed to see this fatality? Like, not even like massive buckets of blood or endless body parts flying from the Scorpion dog pile? This one had such an awesome setup, and in the literal execution, it vanished into darkness just to disappoint us. Number 21.
Yeah.
With Mortal Kombat 4 or Mortal Kombat Gold, the finishers either went for the approach of recreating your favorite fatalities in 3D, or they decided to create some weird finishers that don't make a whole lot of sense. In the end, finishers from these games either leave you laughing your ass off or questioning what just happened. which is why I'm still scratching my head at this finisher.
I mean, I get it. It's Scorpion. But, like, what? Why do you need to keep stabbing him? Then tear. Could you just, like, it's in there? You know?
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Okay, first, why did he steal Shiva's animality as a fatality? And second, why didn't he just turn into the penguin? If you wanted to fit something in the theme and make this funny, then he could have just really done the whole penguin thing and blow the opponent to smithereens again. Either way, this fatality just doesn't really do anything special for me, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
Number 20. It didn't take long for us to get to the black sheep of the Mortal Kombat franchise, but we're here. Alright, now listen. Everyone knows about how MK versus DC's fatalities are pretty bad, but I don't want to beat a dead horse. We'll get to that in some future videos. But the number 20 spot goes to
Okay.
Scorpion's fatality from this game.
Okay. That's a little bit better, but I don't know.
Scorpion wins. Flawless.
Alright, this fatality really isn't that special, but I will give it points for being creative and taking advantage of Scorpion's powers. So there's that, I guess. Honestly, this is one of the fatalities that do kind of work in a teen-rated setting. It could be a lot worse. It could be like Kano's finisher, but that's just a video for another day. Overall, the finisher isn't terrible, but these can get better, right? Number 19. Moving on to number 19, they do get slightly better, but only slightly. Some characters in this game were lucky enough to have some classic fatality be remade in a very teen-rated way. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to you. But hey, at least we got Toasty in Mortal Kombat vs. DC.
Scorpion wins.
That could be better with like.
I mean,
skull.
this absolutely gets brownie points for bringing back an absolute classic into this misfire of a game, but only if they burn into a skeleton or something, just to kind of give it that little edge. In return, this is probably the weakest adaptation of the Toasty fatality to date. Number 18. Jumping back into the PS2 era of Mortal Kombat games, we have Scorpion's second fatality from Mortal Kombat Deception. Where the first was a ripoff of Sub-Zero's ESRB maker, did Scorpion improve for his second fatality?
That was a letdown.
Eh,
Something like
not
that.
really. My issue with this finisher is that it starts pretty menacingly, but it fails at the end.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just throw the spear into the opponent's face and just pull the head clean off? Honestly, I thought that would have been like 10 times better, in
Yep.
my opinion. Instead, he decides to crack them in the neck. Personally, I would say my chiropractor does a better job than that. Overall, I would just say that Mortal Kombat Deception's
Chiropractor could
fatalities
probably
are
do
kind of
better.
a hit or miss for me, and sadly,
Be honest.
Scorpions weren't too much of hits, but they were more
Yeah.
on the miss side. Number 17. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Can we say this game has a lot of interesting ideas? Honestly, a big criticism I have with this game comes from the finishers. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually. But what do I think of Scorpion's first fatality powered by the PlayStation 2?
Oh, that's when he does that.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Yeah.
It's alright. To be fair, I don't mind this fatality that much. I just think that it lingers on for a little too long, which I think is a bit of an issue with some of the fatalities in this game. I just think that it would have been cooler if he used some fire-based powers or something, as his gameplay lacks some fire attacks, and it would be
Yeah.
great to have the Inferno Scorpion be paired with this fatality. This fatality had a cool concept, but it lost its head in the execution. Sorry for the bad pun. Moving on. Number
Good pun.
16. In Mortal Kombat Gold, the developers decided to recreate all of our fatalities in 3D. Due to the technology at the time,
Whoa.
many of these ended up being more unintentionally hilarious rather than gruesome. Hence, where our next fatality lands.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Now, this version of Toasty isn't the worst, but it just feels off. I wish they turned into bones or exploded or something fun and over the top like that.
The
But
one,
instead,
like
we get to
combined
see our
some.
opponent impersonate a headless chicken. But it's in 3D! Number 15. Jumping into one of my favorite spin-off video games of all time, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks is a perfect blend of God of War meets the Mortal Kombat universe. The
Sorry, we're checking the dog over there on the bed.
combat system in this game is top-notch, and the fatalities
Sorry
go
for
for
the
a
cuts,
3D
too.
cinematic approach while recreating the finishers
I'm a
from
bit-
Mortal
I guess
Kombat
you
2.
could say, right?
Many of these finishers are recreated super well, but some of them have their flaws. This finisher has me right down the middle.
Oh, it's a fire breathing one again. This one they make them blow up, which is cool.
Now, I do appreciate they made the body go
Yeah.
boom after they caught on fire, but it shares a similar issue to Mortal Kombat 2021, and that's mainly the pacing. The finisher feels like it's 4 seconds too long. If this were a bit faster, then this one could have been a little bit higher on the list. Number 14. Being on the topic of toasting your opponent, let's jump to Mortal Kombat X, or 10, I guess not everyone can agree on that title now. Honestly, MKX had a lot of amazing qualities. The variation system was badass, the guest fighters were amazing, and the fatalities were really good. Like Mortal Kombat 9, MKX added classic skins with classic fatalities included in these packs, which brings us to this one here.
Another fire breathing, yeah.
Scorpion wins.
What did he have to
Fatality.
skeleton?
In my opinion, these recreated fatalities weren't the best in my opinion. I really preferred the approach NRS made with something like MK9 or even MK11's brutalities by
Yeah.
recreating them in unique and interesting ways. However, this one feels like a more similar beats to MK1 finishers by turning them into bones instead of like burning flesh and everything like that.
Yeah.
It feels like it lacks impact, if you know what I mean. If they managed to modernize it a little bit by adding some elements, that would have been really good, and it would have put it a little higher on the list.
Yep.
Number
I
13.
think so.
Moving back to the classic trilogy
Ooh.
territory with Mortal Kombat 2. This game has probably some of the best finishers in the original trilogy and made such an amazing impact on the series. So much so that some of these finishers were even recreated in the newest Mortal Kombat movie. However, there's one that I am not really the
I've
biggest
seen that
fan
movie.
of.
That's a good movie, though. I would recommend it.
Wins. Fatality.
Now, to be
Let's slow that down a bit.
not really the biggest.
I'll mute it for you guys. You don't have to hear the whole slow motion. Yeah, as you saw, he had a spear right there. Yeah, see the spear right here? But if you play that back full fast version, right? If you play that back normal speed, it just looks like he's karate chopping them in half. Oh, wrong man. Normal.
However, there's
Yeah.
one that I am not really the biggest fan of.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, you can kind of see he had a spear.
Fatality.
However, there's one that I am not
Oh,
really the
sorry about
biggest
that.
fan of.
Yeah. You can kind of see the spear, but if you're not paying attention, like, you just...
Now, to
like,
be clear, I still like this finisher. My big gripes with it is that it moves a little too fast, and
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to see the spear in the fatality. When I was younger, I honestly thought he karate chopped the opponent in half. It was only
Ditto.
until I used some eye drops until I realized that he pulls his spear out like a blade and chops them in half.
Yeah.
If they added a few more frames to show Scorpion pulls the blade out, similar to how Baraka pulls the blades out, then I would have appreciated it a bit more.
Yeah,
Again,
fair.
I don't think this is a bad fatality. I just think it's one of the weaker ones in the game. And as I said earlier, MK2 has a lot of amazing fatalities. Number 12. Another finisher from the classic trilogy, we've got a pretty cool one. Where the first of the 3 Scorpion fatalities was quite disappointing, this one actually delivers some pretty cool stuff unique to Scorpion.
Whoa. I've never seen that one before.
Fatality.
Now this one does a great job showing Scorpion's Spectre powers from the Netherrealm. It's kind of a shame that this finisher wasn't brought back in a terrifying drag me to hell way in future installments, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been incorporated into some of Scorpion's variations in MKX, which I thought was a great touch. Although it was a quick finisher, it's still pretty cool, so let's give Scorpion a hand. Number 11. Moving back into Shaolin Monks, we have another recreated fatality from Mortal Kombat 2. Where the first one wasn't as good as the original Toasty fatality, and it felt
Wow.
like the pacing was off, does the second one improve on the classic version?
Whoa.
In my personal opinion, I think it does. This one feels very pronounced and easy to tell what's going on. As I mentioned earlier, I said it was really hard to see the spear in the classic Slice fatality, but this version improves on that by showing the blade slicing and you can hear the sound
Actually
effects,
does.
showing that he's actually cutting the opponent apart. Overall, this fatality is a great way to recreate a classic while not making it feel too distant from its roots. Speaking of going back to the roots, number 10.
Ooh.
Now we're kicking it as old school as possible and jumping back to the classic E ESRB creator, Mortal Kombat. This one was infamous for causing loads of controversy and changing the gaming industry forever. With fatalities being introduced to this game, what did our poster boy have to offer?
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Now this one's an absolute classic. Out of the original trilogy, it is my least favorite of the Toasties because I think each one improves on it. However, I cannot deny the impact this finisher had among gaming and the series as a whole. I mean, this classic finisher became a
Yeah.
brutality in Mortal Kombat 11, so we know how much this was a fan favorite.
Yep.
So, we have to give praise to this classic finisher and show how much love it's been given over the years. Number 9.
Ooh, nice.
Headed into the game that revived the Mortal Kombat franchise, Mortal Kombat 2011 brought back all the wonderful goodness the franchise was made
Ooh.
famous for. It brought back the core roster from the original trilogy, plus some guest characters, amazing gameplay, and the main reason we're here, fatalities in all of its glory.
Yep.
For a game released 10 years ago, how well have these fatalities aged? Let's find out.
That's good to play, that's good. Oh, wow.
Flawless victory. Fatality.
This fatality is quite the good one.
Yep.
This one seems to borrow the blueprint from Mortal Kombat 2, the spear slice, but added a bit more on top of it. Sure, the fatality does include my biggest fatality pet peeve, which is where you just kind of do more action on them after the opponent's already dead, but this one seems to fit Scorpion, and it's a cool way to stun on the opponent. All in all, it was a great
Yeah.
remake of the classic spear slice, and I was happy to
gets
see
my
the
approval.
franchise continue from here. Number 8. Moving back to the original trilogy, we're
Ooh.
back to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, where the first finisher
A
was
lot of these
quite
games I haven't
disappointing, and
played.
the second one had quite an awesome twist on
Not because they're
Scorpion's
bad
hell-based
or
powers.
anything.
We knew that Toasty had to make an appearance in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Just, I haven't had, these games. I've had the PlayStation and but these games I have not had. So, what to say, yeah. Kind of wish I kind of want to play them. When I get my PlayStation, I need to find a new one, sadly.
This one's just incredible. Honestly,
Wow.
one of my favorite moments from this version of Toasty is how the opponent screams in horror, like a victim in a slasher movie. It's just a nice element that makes this version of Toasty stand out among all of the variations throughout
Yeah.
the years. Honestly, it's just an awesome finisher. I can't really complain about it. Number 7.
Okay.
Jumping back into the amazing reboot,
Mhm.
we've got
Okay,
another
okay.
finisher. Whereas the MKX recreation of the Toasty fatality fell a little flat for me, does this one
Aw.
improve on that one while adding some new elements to make it cooler? Spoiler alert, yes it does.
Ooh, that was cool.
Scorpion wins. Flawless
Right out of the
victory.
bat, the big reason I like this one more is that the opponent doesn't just burn to the bone immediately, but they slowly flake away and suffer a bit. It's a nice recreation of a classic finisher with a feeling of timelessness sprinkled in there. Of the ways that this finisher has been modernized, this one's been done the best in my opinion. Number 6. Time to finish out the 2011 reboot with Scorpion's third fatality. A theme with the fighters is that one finisher seems to recreate a finisher, whereas the second one seems to create a new finisher as a whole. In my opinion, many of these fatalities are a hit or miss for me, but
Okay.
Scorpion's finisher manages to be a hit.
Oh wow. What the?
Scorpion
That's kinda
wins.
cool.
Flawless victory.
Never seen that one before.
I've always wanted to see Scorpion
Fatality.
incorporate teleporting or sending the opponent to hell for a fatality for a long time. Thanks to this game, they managed to deliver it, and it manages to be a pretty good finisher. It would be cool if the opponent could leave, but I guess I just want to stay and, well, hang around for a little bit. Number 5. A huge aspect of the fatalities from Mortal Kombat X was the amount of gore and innovations they made. The finishers now evolved just from decapitations, amputations, and explosions. Now these finishers manage to do damage to organs and over-the-top stuff with these finishers. The first
Yeah.
glimpse of this came from early gameplay footage and showed off this Scorpion fatality.
Whoa. Oh. Oh
Scorpion
my
wins.
god.
Fatality.
Personally,
Dang.
I found this one to be pretty awesome. This finisher could have gone for the
Yeah.
simple
Lot
decapitation,
of time.
but this one decided to go further and go for the face. Although the
Yeah.
fireball is an awesome addition, something like that feels special to Scorpion. Overall,
Yeah.
this one is a great finisher, and I'm happy with how this one turned out. Number 4. Moving back to Mortal Kombat X territory, at the end of the CGI announcement trailer, we
Okay.
got a glimpse of a fatality from Scorpion. Once the game finally released, we managed to see this one in-game, and it did not disappoint at all.
Ooh. Ah.
Scorpion wins.
Oh.
Fatality.
Now the reason I like this one is that it fits Scorpion super well. It takes advantage of some of the hell summoning powers and adds some nice
Yeah.
pizzazz with the sword throw at the end. Honestly, how this
Yeah.
finisher is paced feels a lot like an MK11 fatality. This could have freeze framed right after he threw the blade into the opponent's forehead. I would honestly like to see this finisher done again in the future with more Spectre powers implemented into it. Overall, this is a great finisher, Scorpion, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yep.
Number 3.
Ooh, 3.
Throwback to December 2018. The Game Awards are live and Ed Boon just took stage. Once we all saw him, we knew what was going to happen. After seeing the amazing CGI announcement trailer end with a very flashy and gory fatality, we could not wait to see this in-game. So, did it deliver?
Good. Whoa.
Fatality.
Yep, this one gets right to the point. This one is fast-paced, utilizes Scorpion's abilities to make it feel unique just to him, and it ends on an amazing freeze frame. Sure, the fact that
That
the
is
spine
awesome.
stays there after he fireballs through the opponent can be a bit weird, but it's a risk the team was making to make sure the fatality would be as awesome as it was. Another funny thing I noticed in the notes here is that I went from who's next to you're next following 1-on-1. So that was just a little funny thing I'd like to point out. And moving on. Number 2. Now this one is an absolute classic. Where the Mortal Kombat 1 Toasty was impressive for the time, this interpretation of Toasty provided more of the charm that would help make Mortal Kombat stand out among all of the competitors inside of the arcade.
Scorpion wins.
Better.
Fatality.
That's all something.
The big reason why MK2 Toasty is this high on the list is the impact it made on the rest of the series. Various Mortal Kombat games try to recreate its charm, and even MK11 remade this as a brutality. As the old saying goes, nothing can beat the classic. Another fun fact, this is actually the first Mortal Kombat fatality I've ever been able to pull off. So there's a little fun factoid for you. Number 1.
Ooh.
As we've established earlier, what makes a fatality great are
Wait, number 1.
I've ever been able to pull off. So there's a little fun factoid for you. Number
That's a 2 right there. I don't know if he knows how to count, but that's a 2.
1. As we've established earlier,
But
what makes
whatever.
a fatality great
Let it
are
go.
linked to characteristics that the character is able to pull off. This is why we love the Toasty fatality and some of the spear-based finishers, as they showcase something only Scorpion could do. So what do you get when you mix Hellfire and his chain reaction? Quite possibly the best Scorpion finisher
Oh, I
of
can't
all
wait to
time.
do that. Whoa.
Fatality. Scorpion wins.
Say what you want about Mortal Kombat 11, but you cannot deny how the game managed to make every single fatality feel special in every way possible.
Yeah.
This one highlights Scorpion's Spectre powers while innovating new and creative ways to finish the opponent. After
Yeah.
more than 25
I'll give it
years
to that.
of
I'll give it
combat,
to that. That was pretty
this
cool.
one definitely stands out as Scorpion's best fatality in the entire series. So there you have my ranking
I'll let
of
that
all
whole number thing
23
slide.
Scorpion fatalities across all Mortal Kombat games. I know we aren't going to agree on all of these entries, so put your rankings in the comments down below and I'll surely get back with you. Let's make this a fun discussion and let's not go berserk with each other. Sorry this video took longer than expected to come out. I've just been super busy lately with graduation and all that fun adult stuff. Again, thank you all very much for tuning into this episode, and I will see you next time as I cover the
I loved it.
Grandmaster himself,
I loved it.
Sub-Zero. So thank you very much. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe for more great
It
content.
was good. That was a rank I don't know. Why? So yeah, you know. If you have any other suggestions, I do want to play this game though, but I need the money to get the full version. So yeah, if you guys want to see some more Mortal Kombat, like this one, every playable character, and please by all means let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed. Sorry if I seemed a bit off. I have to wait to the video again. It's like, you know. But other than that, like, it was good. And I do agree on, like, some of his fatality ranks. Yeah. But most of them, again, I didn't see by game-wise because I have the game with me to play. Oh, some of them were pretty new to me. And that, I'll see you guys later. Bobby tomorrow for another video after Monday's fan choice live stream on my main channel if you guys want to check it out.